Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode on the NJ podcast. Apologies, it's been a while since we've done some conversations on the show. And remember that the theme of this podcast is that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means you're going after what you've always wanted to go after because it's aligned with your highest values, and that is the only way for you to truly live a truly fulfilled and inspired life. And on the show, we talk with people from all walks of life, all different types of professions, just so that we can get different views on what success is. Because if one person has success, we can learn and decode those lessons. And on the show today, I've got a good friend, and we've known each other for how many years now?
A while.
Like 3 years. It's been a while. Yeah.
Just after COVID.
Yeah, 2021, 2021. All I know is that this guy is a great dancer. Chris Brown doesn't know what he's doing.
That was not in the script.
I told you we're freestyling here. So yeah, he's a very great guy. He's entrepreneurial. He's into media, audiovisual production, and we served together at Rising Stars. Well, we used to serve together at Rising Stars, and then the schism happened.
Yeah.
I just served there. It's not up to me. And his name is Samuel Chetty. Great to have you on the show, brother.
Awesome, bro. Thank you so much for having me.
Good.
That's really cool. Man.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask if you can just take us through who is Samuel Chetty, where is he from, what makes him successful, what is it that you're passionate about. Just take us into your background and what you like and what you don't dislike, and just give us an intro to yourself, sir.
Awesome. So who is Samuel Chetty? Funny enough, I actually don't really use that name that often. Like only for like formalities.
Really?
Because all my branding is Samuel Liam.
Liam?
Yeah, because it's my second name.
That's very true. That's very true, yeah.
The reason for that actually is because when I was in high school, like halfway through high school, I got tired of my name. And
Why?
I was like, I just felt like it wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool.
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go by Liam because it's my second name.
Chetty is a very cool name.
No, it is. No, I'm saying Samuel.
Samuel.
Like, I don't know why. I was like, let me go by Liam. And I was like, okay, I introduced myself to like half the people I know now know me as Liam. Yeah. And then a few years later, I was like, you know what? Actually, there's probably a lot of meaning to my name and I should probably keep it.
Yeah.
But then half the people were calling me Liam. So I was like, this is...
So you went to you rebranded yourself.
Yeah, so I just rebranded myself to Samuel Liam so that they could make the connection.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So is there any connection between you and Mr. Liam Nielsen? No?
No.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
You guys
my initials are Samuel L, though.
Samuel
I just don't have the Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I just don't have the Jackson. Almost there. But yeah, who am I?
Say what again? No, I'm kidding.
So who am I? I think the best way to describe myself is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
In general, I think it's something that it's a weird definition.
Yeah.
Because it means many different things.
Yeah.
Like I am a photographer.
Sure.
I'm a videographer.
Yeah.
I'm a graphic designer as
All
well.
right. Yeah.
A digital marketer. A lot of these different things, but I think the journey of entrepreneurship sums all of that up.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm not doing photography or video, I'm still like, if I'm starting another business, so I'm starting a clothing brand. I've had a few clothing brands.
Okay.
And I have a new one coming up.
Actually. All right, cool. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah.
But even if I'm not doing that stuff specifically, like you learn all these different skills and you put them together.
Yeah.
And that's what entrepreneurship is. You know, it's the acquisition of skills. And I think if I can define it as investing in yourself to the point where you can invest in others. And that's essentially that journey of like building yourself up till your business is essentially an extension of yourself that you don't need to be a part of. It's like you can let your kids just...
Your kids being your businesses, right?
Yeah, I'm literally 22. I don't know about kids.
Hey, so some people 21 and got 3 kids.
Hey, man. Yeah, but that's what it is. So yeah, to describe myself, I am an entrepreneur. I started my first business at 15.
Yeah. What was that about?
It was a clothing brand.
All right, cool.
It was a clothing brand. My parents decided... that they were like gonna start this t-shirt printing thing.
Yeah.
So they bought the machine and everything, like the heat press. And
okay.
yeah, they were like, they would print custom designs.
Okay.
Stuff at like markets. So we'd go to a market and people would say, "Oh, I want my name on the T-shirt," and then they'd print out the name and like they had this cutting machine with the vinyl.
Okay.
And then you print it there, then you give the T-shirt. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But from that, I was like, you know what, it would be cool one day to have my own clothing brand.
Yeah.
You know, like something that's mine, that could like just something that I can create and give to the world. And I don't know what made me do this or think this way, but in that moment, I was just like, I could actually do this right now. Like, there's nothing stopping me. You know, and I think I always felt that phrase of just like one day or like sometime in the future, I want to be doing this, and this. And I actually looked at it and I was like, okay, there's actually nothing preventing me from doing this now. And the way I got started with that brand, I didn't even put any money into it, because I would literally make the design with the software that came with the press and everything that they got. And then once I made the design, I just put it on like a mock-up and I sent it out to my friends. I'm like, "Oh yeah, guys, I'm selling this T-shirt." And they were like, "Oh yeah, cool, here's some money." And I was like, I was like, "What?"
Street.
I was like, "Okay."
I can spend money at the tech shop.
Bro, I was balling, bro.
Were you balling?
I was balling, bro. But then, so then it was like, okay, cool. I just got paid. And then I just took that money, went and printed the T-shirts using that. So I didn't actually put anything into it. Like, I didn't put any financial capital into it. And that's how I got into entrepreneurship. And ever since then, every single day, it's just been this question of like, okay, how do I do this better? How do I make it bigger? And how do I like take over the world?
Take over the world. Jeez,
you know,
and
And I don't think I've taken over the world yet. I don't think that brand was close. But it taught me a lot. And that was essentially the foundation of everything that I am now. From that brand, that's when I got into graphic design.
Sure.
Because I wanted to design better T-shirts. I ended up paying for an Adobe subscription for Illustrator, which was, I think it was about 500 Rand a month.
500 a month, okay.
And I was in high school, bro. That was a lot of money.
That's a lot of money,
That was a lot of money.
500 a month is...
That was great. Like, I was broke. I was completely broke. But, like, that's how I learned graphic design. And eventually, after I stopped the clothing brand, I freelanced in graphic design for a few years. And I did branding, and I learned about logo design. I learned about brand identity, all of that stuff, the marketing aspect of it. But it all started from that clothing brand. And it started from that thing of like, okay, I want to design better T-shirts. And then the photography aspect as well. It's like, okay, how do we take pictures for the brand now? And that's when I got into photography. And eventually I stopped the brand, but I was like, okay, I can take pictures for other people. And the same thing with videos. Like, how do I create promotional videos for myself? And then it was a thing of how do I create promotional videos for other people? And I think one thing about me that I've always struggled with is this idea that you need to be one specific thing, or that you need to focus on one specific thing. Because I've always wrestled with that idea. And especially a lot of successful people, they'll tell you that, and they'll be like, "No, but you can't do that." You know, like they're like, you can't be all of these different things at once. And I'm like, but I'm physically incapable of following one interest.
So that is, so that's basically what you call yourself as a Renaissance man. You ever heard of what a Renaissance man is? What? So I don't know if you've heard of this man who painted the Mona Lisa, Da Vinci, right?
Yes,
of course. Da Vinci. Da Vinci Resolve, you should know. So he's known as a Renaissance man. So back in those days, if you were to be great in terms of in that era, you very hardly would you ever find someone who was just a mathematician. You'd find that Da Vinci was a mathematician, he was an inventor, and he was an artist, and he was a painter. And then I think he was also an author as well. And also he was a philosopher. So that's like 7 different disciplines in one. So I also have exactly the same inclination. Because people say, "Hey, what do you do?" I'm like, I write books, I podcasts, I play music, and like, oh, you do so many things. My counter to that is that no, I don't do so many things. It's just different avenues of the same expression. So my expression is artistic expression through communication, and there's different modes of communication. Even if you look at Elon Musk. Big crip Elon. Elon Musk is, they call him a business magnate, but he's also a scientist. And he's also an inventor. And he's also a mathematician. And he's also a TV personality.
Yeah.
So I think the struggle there is, for example, you're not a Formula One driver, are you?
No.
You're not a tennis player.
I mean, I might be a Formula One driver.
Please check his tickets, Metropolis. Bega my ticket. Here he is. I'll drop his Instagram. You can.
Depends on the mood.
But you get the general idea. Yeah. So you get the general idea. So my take on that entire thing is, at the end of the day, do you? At the end of the day, I mean, it's, as long as there's a common theme to what you're doing. What you're doing is media, and media has got different, multiple different expressions.
Definitely.
So in the brand number one, what was it called?
Simplicity.
Simplicity.
Oh,
simplicity.
Didn't think very far for that.
Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Yes.
Very quite simple.
Yeah. So, what are the number of things that you learned from there? Because quite a number of people who want to branch into entrepreneurship, they want to branch into whatever it is, they're always saying, hey, I don't have money. Hey, I don't have connections, So what is it that you have to say to those people based on that you started with, pretty much nothing?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
I think it's this idea of investment.
Yeah.
So what I realized when I was 15 was, regardless of the route that I take and regardless of the businesses that I'm in, it's gonna take about 10 years plus minus.
Okay.
To get me to where I want to be. It's gonna take, and whether that's 2 years of this business, 2 years of that business, 2 years of, however you put in that time, you need to clock in those hours in order to get to where you want to be.
Sure.
And what I realized then was okay, if I start now, then I can get through all the nonsense years and then get to the other part sooner.
Yeah.
And I think that's just how I thought about it. And it's literally a thing of, you need to have this mentality of understanding that this is probably most likely going to fail. But
negative Nancy over here.
No, listen, it's you need to have that thing in the back of your mind, this is probably not going to work to the scale that I want it to work.
Yeah.
However, you need to give each attempt
the
opportunity to succeed.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very good one.
You need to approach every single attempt with the belief that this is the one that's going to succeed.
Yeah.
With full understanding and knowledge that it's probably not going to be the one that succeeds.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, you don't learn the necessary skills.
Sure.
You don't learn the necessary communication tips. You don't learn networking. You don't learn marketing, sales, products, all of that stuff. That first business, I pretty much made no money, and whatever money I did make, it went to the tuck shop.
I told you.
I kid you not, it went to the tuck shop.
Bar ones or lunch bar?
Those chicken burgers. Those chicken burgers were clutch. Chicken burger, and flavored water.
Okay.
Game over.
Okay.
You were living life. People saw you with flavored water.
You live life. Alona, he's got money. He's made it in life,
bro. What more?
You're the king. Which one is this one now? Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of financially, and I look back at my work now, and I'm so it's so terrible. If I have to look back at it now, where I am,
the work that you started doing.
I look back at that first brand, and I look back at the clothing, and I look back at the promotional videos and the pictures and stuff, and I was like, man, what was I doing? But in the same breath, in the moment, I was like, this is the best that I can give. This is the best of me.
Yes.
And I think there's beauty in that, in this thing of even though you understand that it's probably not the best that's out there, it's this is the best that you can give, and you just need to keep on doing that.
Yeah.
It's after that first one, maybe this one is not that great, but then the next one is going to be even better.
Yeah.
And then the next one is going to be even better. Then the next one is going to be even better. And that's the journey. And regardless, I mean, this 10 years thing, I just pulled that number out of thin air. But if you just assume it's going to take X amount of years.
Yeah.
And you can't shortcut it in any way.
Yeah.
Regardless of which industry it is, regardless of which business it is, it's like, okay, it's going to take these amounts of years. You look at it as an investment to say, okay, every single day I'm investing into who I am and who I'm becoming, and I'm planting seeds for the future. And that's essentially what it is. And one day you'll look up and you're like, yo, I've actually come very far from where I was. You know, even though in the beginning there was all those emotions and it was scary. It didn't seem that feeling never goes away though.
It's the fear.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It's been 7 years since you started, and you still feel afraid.
Yeah. Because the thing is, you're always in new water.
Yeah.
You're always in new water. I think that's the beauty of entrepreneurship is it's this game where nothing is constant. And so even when you do reach a level, it's like, how long do you stay there? Like picture moving houses every 6 months. Jeez. That's the analogy. It's like you can't settle into what this is because you move into one place, and as soon as you move into that place, you're like, okay, we need to scale to this.
Yeah.
And then you move into the other house, and then you're like, cool, yeah, we're successful, we did it. And then you're like, guys, look at my cool house. And then you don't even get to like find your space and your place in this because it's just constantly moving up and up and up. And that's when I say like the fear never goes away, because as soon as you move into the next house, it's like, okay, or the next pool, if I can say that, you're like, wow, the fish in here are crazy. This is a lot bigger than what I thought it was. And that's constantly what it is. It's that constant evolution of learning, using what you learned in the previous step. But also learning something new in this new environment. And the culmination of all of that stuff. That's really what the journey is. So yeah, when I say like that fear doesn't go away, it's you need to not become comfortable with it. But if that's the thing that's holding you back for a very long time, the assumption that it's going to go away before you can start is very flawed.
Is it ludicrous?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it never goes away.
Yeah.
And so it's something that you need to become comfortable with instead of running away from. If that makes sense. Like so going into instead of around. Yeah.
So just be comfortable with the fear, comfortable with the feeling of not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah. So it's not even being comfortable with the fear, but I think it's just pushing through it. It's like, okay, I feel this way, but regardless, we're going to get this done. You know, and that's really what it is. So it's not like being like, oh, I'm always like constantly afraid and all that stuff. It's like, no, like you notice it and you acknowledge it, but you just don't give it any power. You don't give it the ability to hold
to paralyze you.
To paralyze you, but it doesn't go away.
Yeah. So is that what you tell someone who says, I don't have money? What do you tell that person? I don't have money to start.
You need to figure out why you want to start in the first place. I don't think entrepreneurship is for everybody.
Really?
Yes. I don't think so.
Why do you think it's not for everybody? Tell us, Sam. Because because there's hustle culture, there's Instagram posts that you gotta get it.
Listen, bro.
Gotta get it
not
done.
Fun, man.
It's not fun. So what are all these Instagram posts make it seem nice with the Ferraris and the houses and the jet and
it's
them denigrating jobs? So if it's not for everybody, then what's all that about? You know?
Yeah, you know what it is. It's talk is cheap.
Talk is cheap. All right. Okay.
That's 100% what it is. And I think I see this every day because I work with social media. And like sometimes I get tired of social media. And I'm like, I need to go on TikTok to look for content for this person now. And yeah. But anyway, so I'm always on social media. But I think you're just putting words out into this abyss that you have. And other people catch it.
Yeah.
And the fortunate part or the unfortunate part, depending on how you want to take it, is people can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
And there's no consequences to it.
Yeah.
And so you can like glorify entrepreneurship, yes. But I think it's not something like that's a very small aspect of it. That successful part of it is like
a small thing,
It's a very small thing in all of this. I think the bigger thing is that entrepreneurship is a calling to me.
It's a calling.
It's a calling.
Yeah.
And I've found that at every level of success where I once imagined something would have been great, you reach it and you achieve it, and then you sit there and you're like, this is not what I expected it to be.
Isn't that a painful feeling?
It is a very painful feeling. It is. You know what? I don't think painful is the word. It's like, it's a confusing feeling.
Confusing how?
Because you've spent so much time working towards this.
Yeah.
And then you realize and you get there and you're like, this is not what I wanted. But I wanted this so badly. I convinced myself that I wanted this, but I actually don't care.
Can you just give us a time when that happened so that people can just internalize what you're saying? Because what you're saying is quite deep, that you get to a point that you've worked, I don't know how long.
Yes.
You've sacrificed, I don't know how much.
Yes.
You've missed so many, I don't know how many sleepless nights to get to this thing. And then you're like, this is not what I wanted. Is that not a waste of, I don't know, effort, time, money, resources?
It is. Yeah. But before I go into clarifying an example, if I can just clarify that point to say, you're still where you wanted to be. You're still better off than where you were.
Facts, yeah.
It's just not what you imagined it would. It's not what you imagined it would be. And so you push for the next one, and you push for the next one. And it's this constant cycle of fulfillment and disappointment. Because you realize, and it's like there's like a hole inside of you, and then you realize this is still not going to fill it. Yeah. The realization that I came to, and I actually sat down with a few guys at church about it. We spoke about it. But I brought up this conversation. I was like, listen, I feel like I've done pretty well. Like for a long time, I was not able to make a decent income with what I'm doing. But I was convinced that I could. And I was like, this is totally what I want to be doing and all of this stuff. And then like now, recently, a few months ago, I got a pretty big contract. And after that happened, I got a pretty big job and then a pretty big contract. And then after that happened, it was like, okay, this is like real. Yes. But you realize that this fantasy that you've made up about what this is supposed to be is not, like, it's still life. Like life still goes on. It's not like all of a sudden it's just sunshine and rainbows. No, things still go on. But you've achieved this. Like, cool. Like that. Like that's what I'm saying. And what I had to realize was when I had gotten to that point, it was discouraging for me because my work ethic was slacking there now.
Explain.
So I got to this point that I was trying to reach for however long, and then I got there, and then I was like, okay, what do I do now?
So what now?
Yeah, and it's like I'm nowhere close to where I wanted to be. Where I'm nowhere close to the dreams that I have for myself. Yeah. But in the same breath, I'm like slightly better than where I started. And just that little bit of success was enough for me to sit back and be like, okay, wait, I actually don't want that much in life.
What do you mean?
Like obviously I want a lot, but all of these things don't matter. Like the materialistic aspects of it and all of that stuff. Like it made me realize like none of these things matter.
So that Ferrari outside you've parked, it doesn't matter.
No, like it does, but it really doesn't. Okay. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't. Yeah. I think there was a point that I started this whole conversation with that I'm taking a very long way to get to. But all I'm saying is, it's this aspect of finding out why you do what you do.
Why you started,
and why you will continue. Like the success and the milestones that you set for yourself is just that. It's a marker on the journey. Yeah. But it's not like you just fly past the markers. You don't sit at them and look around and if that's not what it's about, and it's about the journey, people always say that, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Yeah. Like, what does that look like? And then you get to this question of, why do you do what you do? Like, what gets you up in the morning and makes you say, okay, I'm gonna go do this for the day? Like, what's that reason? And I've found that for entrepreneurship, you need to be called to do this. Yeah. It's actually a very selfless journey, because you sacrifice everything. As founders and entrepreneurs, you sacrifice everything. Yeah. You give up a lot of relationships, a lot of time, a lot of energy, to build this idea, to bring this thing into the world. Yeah. And yes, at the end of it, you get, you get wealth and you get all these things. But if we're taking it from the point of the journey is the thing, it's like, what makes you push through all of that to get this only at the very end.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you need something deeper than just I want the Ferrari. You need something deeper than that, because you'll get it and you'll sit in it and you'll realize this is completely meaningless. Like this is not why I just did all of this stuff. And you realize that it's a calling. You feel called to produce something and give something to the world that can live forever.
Yeah.
Something that can, feed families, but like that can employ people, something that can, give somebody a job that wouldn't have existed otherwise.
Just so you can fire them afterwards.
Yeah. Because why are they not working? They're on TikTok. I know it's a social media agency, but come on. Focus.
We're here to work, chief.
We had to work, not scroll TikTok. Even though that's the work. But
Scroll TikTok with a purpose.
Yes.
Purposeful scrolling.
Purposeful scrolling.
Yes.
You can't be mindless here. You need to...
You go from a tennis video to a Kabilami video to a food video to like...
I really don't like TikTok, man.
Why?
I don't like TikTok. I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. It feels...
It sucks you in. For me, it just sucks me in. It's like,
you know what it is? As a designer,
yeah.
I don't like the way TikTok is designed.
Don't like the way TikTok is designed. Okay.
Yeah, like it just feels very sleazy, if that makes sense.
No, explain.
Like it feels... I can't explain it. The people that know. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. But it just like Instagram, it's nice. Everything is aesthetic. It's cool.
Yeah.
TikTok is just like
it's the hood.
It's the hood. It doesn't look nice.
It doesn't look nice. But like, people are on there. They're on there. Clearly, they're getting something out of it.
Yeah, but that's that mindlessness.
Yeah, okay, I get you. So we've talked extensively to the question of people saying that I don't have money. Now, and you say entrepreneurship is not for everyone because of all of the sacrifices, the pain, and also that thing that you were talking about. You get to a certain destination, like, hey, I didn't want this thing. But then you still have to continue going. All right, so what do you say to someone who has been working and they're like, you know what, I don't like my job anymore. I want to be an entrepreneur. What do you say to that person? Because that's a very, very relevant theme nowadays.
Yes.
People is like, I want to be an entrepreneur.
So it's a thing of like you've been working, let's just say corporate.
Yeah, corporate work. Whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Some have been in the game of corporate for 20 years now. Now they're like, hey, no.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer this. Because from the time that I started, I told myself that I never wanted to go into corporate.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay.
So I've never worked in a corporate position ever in my life. So I don't actually know what it's like.
But here's the funny thing. What do entrepreneurs think that they're building? You guys are building a corporation. Right?
No, I know. I realized that the other day. I was
what do you guys think you're building?
I avoided this thing so that I can create it. It's like that Spider-Man meme. Like, where they're just like, what do you mean?
What do you guys think? You guys are like, I hate corporate. That's why I'm a successful entrepreneur. What do you think you're building?
No, you know what it is. I think what I can give from my life is when I was in high school.
Sure.
And I was deciding what career I wanted to go into.
100%.
My entire high school career from about grade 6, even though that's not high school, from about grade 6, this is when I started putting in the work for it, right? I wanted to be an engineer.
All right.
Right? I wanted to go into engineering. And up until about grade 11, I would work at that pace. Right? Then I got to grade 11. And I actually sat back and I was like, wait, guys, maybe I should look into what an engineer does.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, maybe, like, on a day-to-day, what does this look like?
So 5 years, you're like...
But it sounded cool, man. It sounded cool. And the problem is, I'm not somebody that gives up easily. Right? So I was stuck on this idea. I was like, you know what? I'm by fire, by force. And then I got to grade 11. I probably did get the marks for it to get into the course.
But so you're super smart as well.
Kind of.
Kind of, okay. Yeah, he's smart, guys. He's smart.
I did study computer science for a year. That was fun. But yeah, so I got to grade 11 and I was like, why do I want to do this?
Okay, finally.
Yeah, I was like, why do I want to do this? Like, not like whether it's cool or not, or whether it pays money or not. Like, why do I want to do this? I was like, no. Somebody told me that this was cool. Like, No, but I mean that's and especially growing up, like I was kind of smart.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? But when you look at that and then it's like, okay, what do you want to be when you're older? You're kind of pushed into these boxes. Like I didn't realize I was a creative person until years after. The whole time I was just like, okay, I'm good at maths. I'm good at science. I used to love physics.
Yeah.
I used to love physics. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm good at maths. I'm good at physics.
Yeah.
Like, what are my options? What career do I want to go into?
Yeah.
Based on those characteristics of being good at maths, being good at physics, like having a very analytical brain. Those were the options. It's like, okay, engineering, finance, you can be a doctor maybe, but like, like those
Dr. Liam.
Yeah. Like those are the careers. And I was like, okay, engineering sounds cool. Like, and I was also like very into robotics and I love coding. I programmed for a few years as well. But that's something that I enjoyed doing. But I got to grade 11 and I was like, why do I want to be doing this for the rest of my life? And that's when I had like this midlife crisis at 17.
That's just a crisis, not a midlife crisis.
Oh, okay. Quarter life crisis. Let's start there. Yeah.
Quarter life crisis starts at 25.
Oh yeah, crazy.
So you're an eighth life crisis.
Eighth life crisis. It was a crisis nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
I genuinely didn't know what to do. And it took me a few years of figuring that out. And just like sitting in fog. And I studied a year of computer science. Took a gap year when I started my business. That went terribly. And then I studied graphic design for a year.
I want us to go back to
and I studied graphic design for a year. But to answer your question, if somebody's in corporate and they want to leave their jobs, I can give you the advice that people give.
What do they give?
When it's like, like make sure your side hustle is enough to sustain you before. Yeah, like I don't take that advice personally because, I don't know, I'm crazy. But I just go for it and then we'll see what happens.
You'll see. Tell what you master.
Yeah. That's also why I did it young before I had like responsibilities and stuff. But I think in that situation, it really just comes down to what do you want to do and why do you want to do it? And that's the thing that's going to be able to fuel you. Like entrepreneurship is a lot of hours. And it's a lot of work just behind the scenes that you need to put into. And it's lonely work. It's work that nobody else is there. Nobody cares whether you do it or not.
Yeah.
Nobody cares whether you succeed or not. Like you're the only person who wants this to actually work out.
Sure.
And taking on that personal responsibility is a lot because in every other aspect of life, there's other people around you to push you in it. There's other people around you to guide you to, here's the scope, do this. And it's like, entrepreneurship is not like that. Like, you do what you want to do, and if it makes you money, it makes you money. If it doesn't make you money,
tell what you must.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, you'll be doing something for 6 months and not know why it's not making you money. And nobody's going to tell you. You need to figure it out. Like, there's nobody there. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody there. It's a very lonely journey, but it's not that great, guys.
This thing's not making money, but I don't know why.
But I love it.
I love it.
But I love it, but I'm here. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where things like obsession and passion come in. Sure. Because how do you get through those moments?
You need to be obsessed and use that
passion. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, like, don't be dumb like me. Just throw everything out and just go for it and not have any other income. Yeah. But because you still need to live and stuff like that. My mom would be proud that I'm saying this.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a conversation.
Okay, all right. Mom, he said it. He finally said it.
But I think it's figuring out why you want to do that.
Sure.
Like, I think I see Vusi.
Yeah.
Vusi said it. Vusi Tamagoy said it. He said, people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't realize that there's different levels to it. Like you have employed, which is, I think you mentioned it in your book. I do read your books.
Yeah.
It's that thing of you are a business.
Yeah.
Yes. So being employed is technically running a business. Just
you're self-employed.
You have a really long retainer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very long.
You have a very long retainer.
That's a good way of putting it.
But it's still you're your own. I have it. Thank you, Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You are the product that you're selling.
Yeah.
And so whatever you're providing to the company, you're like a mini business that's selling that to them.
Sure.
And they're paying you for that. Entrepreneurship is the same thing. It's just bigger. And you're providing something to more people than just one client. But employed is one level of it. Then you have self-employed, which is the same thing. You just need to take on the stress of finding the work. Like employed and self-employed is the same thing. Effectively, you're doing the same work. There's nothing revolutionary going on, whatever. You're doing the same work. Maybe self-employed, you can charge more. But, you can charge what you want that side. That's the only difference. But the major difference is that you need to go out and find your clients now. You need to go out and find the people that want to work with you. And that's where the security difference is. Where people that work corporate and that stuff, they like the security of not having to find clients.
Sure.
But you're still a business. You're still selling a service. You just don't need to find your client. And obviously, if you lose your job, then you technically need to find another job, which is finding another client. It's the same thing. Right? Self-employed, you just find clients on a more consistent basis.
Sure.
That aspect of business is what throws people off. Like the thing of marketing, the thing of how do I get my clients? Where do I get my clients? What do I charge? All of that stuff. If you don't want that stress and if you don't want to deal with that stress, stay in your job. Stay in your job. Like maybe what I'm trying to get at is if you want to start your business, maybe you don't want to start a business. Maybe you just want to change careers. There's nothing wrong with being employed. There's nothing wrong with working in that.
That's very good
It's
advice.
just about finding a career that you're passionate about, work that you're genuinely interested in. And like, I think about it now. If I was working at a company, I would love it because I can focus on the creative aspects of what I want to do.
So you can just do the work.
Like I don't need to worry about, is everybody paid? I don't need to worry about, is this guy paid? Is that guy paid? I don't need to worry about all the stress of like, when's this kind coming? When's the deposit? When's that? I can just focus on the work, deliver the work. After that,
go home.
Go home. Like that's...
I'd watch Lewis Hamilton. That's
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's so much more that comes with building a business. And if you're building a business just for the fact of being able to do what you want to do, it's like maybe the career that you're in isn't for you. Because building a business is a lot more admin. And there's a lot more moving parts, and it's not just about the work that you're doing. And so obviously if we go down the ladder, you have your self-employed, entrepreneur, or what is it? Business owner. You have business owner where you're just like a manager, manager role, but it's for your business. But it's the same thing as being a manager. And then you have the entrepreneur, which is the big idea stuff. But to answer that question, it's like, figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And I don't believe this is an answer that we give ourselves, but I think this is something we pray for. And I think this is something that we lean on God for, and he guides us through this. Like that's the calling that I'm talking about, because entrepreneurship in and of itself, like I mentioned it at the beginning of this.
It's a calling.
Of this thing. Like when people ask me what I am, I don't say that I'm a photographer. I don't say that I'm a video. I say I'm an entrepreneur because that's my calling. Whether I'm doing photography, whether I'm doing video, whether I'm selling t-shirts, whether I'm selling whatever. It's like that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I enjoy doing on a daily basis with all the stresses and the things that come in, because it's a game, and I love that game. But if you really do want to leave your job, then figure out a way to make money and to have that money sustain you. That's ultimately what it is. And don't listen to people online too much.
Why? But this is gonna go online, so you
Folks,
online.
have you guys ever realized? I realized this a few years ago. Right? Somebody will be talking through a business strategy. Right? Hear me. Like let's say like a business model, like drop shipping, for example.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. If I could have $1 for every drop shipping video I've seen online.
Hear me. I used to think these things were so smart, right? This guy, wait. This guy is showing you how to. This is just one of the things. Like, obviously, it's how business works, right? But the thing of following exactly what this person is doing, you need to realize this video has like 800,000 views, guys. That's 800,000 people that are all thinking the same thing. That's 800,000 businesses starting in the same model. That's why these industries get so saturated so quickly. And it's this thing of you need to think further than what people around you are thinking. And developing your own problem-solving ability. And that's all entrepreneurship is in a nutshell. It's the ability to solve a problem and then sell the solution. And having people to sell the solution to.
Yeah.
That have money to pay for the solution.
So if I can't listen to people online, who must I listen to then?
Like listen to people online, but take everything with a teaspoon.
Salt, not even
Teaspoon.
a
Yeah, teaspoon. A big spoon, even those biryani spoons, you know those ones. just like take yourself out of it.
Yeah.
I think. And look for the next thing that's innovative, or look for something that you're passionate about. And obviously, like, just use discernment on like who's really speaking powerfully and stuff. But I think if you are going to listen to people online, listen more so on the mindset aspect of it.
Okay.
Not necessarily on the tangibles. Like for me, if I have to listen to somebody online, I'd listen to somebody that speaks to building me up as a man and like my mindset, just as an entrepreneur, and also following God, and also like just like, you know, discipline and stuff like that. Like, what am I doing on a daily basis, stuff like that. In terms of business, I'm looking specifically at how to get better at photography.
Sure.
How to get better at video.
Yeah.
How to get better at, you know, stuff like that. But the big idea stuff that I'm doing in my business, which is asking the questions of how do we get a campaign to bring more customers to a business. That's the big questions that we ask in my company.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be finding that online. And if I do find that online, it's like somebody else is already making money from that. So why would I even waste my time going into that? It's like there's nothing valuable that I'm contributing to the world through that, because everybody's already doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, let's find our own way to get there. And you will find sometimes that even through your own ways, some people come up with the same solutions.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's a thing of like stepping away from it and really just going through it and figuring it out for yourself, because you learn so much more that way and you come up with a lot more unique answers. This is not to say don't read other people's stories. This is not to say don't, you know, educate yourself. But I think too often, you know, we look at people online and we just copy what they're doing. It's like,
and it doesn't work, then we get frustrated. I'm like,
doesn't
see, this
work,
thing
man.
doesn't work.
And it's also because you have like 500 people doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like a man who's tired of all this.
I am tired of it. I'm extremely tired of it.
Why are you tired? Because you've seen so many people go through that trope? You've been through it yourself? Or
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both? Okay.
A little bit of both. Like, yeah, like I went through it and I kind of saw it and I got really excited about it as well. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go like this. And then I realized, I'm like, where did I get these ideas from?
Yeah.
They come from the person
TikTok.
that's telling them to millions of people.
Exactly.
Which means millions of people have the same ideas.
So that doesn't mean that that advice is not worth taking, or maybe you said taking it with the.
I read a book once,
Yeah.
and I can't remember what book it was, and I can't remember the author, but I remember this because I just felt that the author humbled himself so much by saying this. But he said, always take what's applicable from people. Don't take everything.
True.
Because people are speaking from their own personal experiences.
Yeah.
There's many factors that affected that thought processing. And so hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it?
Yeah.
Take what you take from it, and what you don't take from it, cool. You can do that. It works for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. If you hear somebody say the smallest word, and it's like, wow, that's interesting. I'm going to maybe try something else. I'm going to try, you know, like, I can run with that, and sparks a whole bunch of other ideas. Cool. Run with that. But what I was saying that was humbling about this guy was that he was saying even my own words, like even what I'm saying to you, like don't take everything that I'm saying and just apply it 100%. Like,
yeah,
you need to think about it. You need to like think critically about how this applies to your life and if it's even applicable. And then apply what you think is going to be best. And as you go along the journey, you realize there's actually not that many concepts.
Yeah.
It's like
all the same thing.
Yeah, everybody says the same thing.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. So a question for me is that in your business, what's the demographic of your clientele, or the people that you service?
What do you mean?
So what I'm saying, who's your target market? I'm like, you personally, who are the people that you work with, that you assist in?
It's different. I'm currently in between freelancing and servicing businesses. Freelancing is just like birthdays and stuff. Like,
okay.
I should like birthdays and different events and stuff like that. But with when it comes to the business side of it, it's like people that understand, because so obviously we do social media, social media management, social media marketing, stuff like that. It's people that understand the power of it, but people also that want to do something different in their companies. So I learned a very long time ago that although every business could use what we're offering, it's not always beneficial to every business. Like your business needs to be at a certain level to where the work that we do can be really beneficial to you. And it's like, so we work in advertising, obviously. And
right.
Advertising is this thing of, okay, let's just get more eyes on what you're doing.
Yeah.
The thing is, marketing is very hard to, it's not like branding. Branding is very difficult to quantify.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't put a number to how many people choose Coke over Pepsi. You can't put a number to that.
Yeah, yeah.
But Coke as a brand equity, like people would choose it over something else, but you can't tangibly say,
So then when people are saying, I'm building a brand, what exactly does that mean?
Branding.
Yeah.
Branding is fascinating.
Tell us about it.
Branding is fascinating. So branding is this idea, I think Myron Golden. Do you watch Myron Golden?
No.
I just put you onto somebody amazing.
Yeah, you just put me on.
Go watch Myron Golden.
Yeah.
I think you'd really love his content.
Is it?
But Myron Golden refers to branding as remembering a name that reminds you of a story.
All right.
And that's all it is. And you think about it, like everybody has a personal brand. Everybody. You have a personal brand. I have a personal brand. And not even in the greatest sense of like, oh, I have a logo and I have this. Like, no, like as in Jabulo, you have a brand. Even if you weren't in the space, let's just say you just went to work, you came home, you know, like you have a brand. What do people think when they see you, when they hear you? And then it's like, okay, is it good? Is it bad? And that's what we kind of just call reputation. But it's even in the smaller things. Like I think Alex Hormozy said this once. He was like, if you recommend a movie to me, first thing I'm thinking is, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, I know you from church.
Yeah.
I know, that already gives me some connotations to who you are as a person. I'm thinking of your character. I'm thinking of that aspect of it. And I'm like, okay, this is probably a good movie to watch.
Yeah.
The movie is probably beneficial to me.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody else comes to me and they're like, oh, watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I look at their character and their character is not congruent to who I am.
Yeah. You're not.
I'm like, okay, just because you enjoyed it doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like, if the movie that you recommended to me is bad now, let's say, your brand changes.
That's true. Yeah.
Your brand now changes.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's all branding is. It's this idea that as a company you can build a reputation, and your logo and your colors and like the psychology of it is very deep.
Yeah.
Because the way you dress is a particular style.
Yeah.
The way you dress, that's essentially what graphic design and branding is for a company.
Yeah.
It's the way you dress. It's the reason why people are attracted to Apple over Android, because the design is it's attractive to them.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I prefer Instagram over TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the way TikTok is designed. Simply because of that.
You're the first person in the history of TikTok being around between me telling me that you don't like TikTok.
No, I'll say it with my chest. And I'll be, no. You guys can drag me in the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so that's branding.
So there's a brand that a business has?
What do you mean?
So as I'm asking, is it like, because I've heard of there being a business brand and then being a personal brand.
So it's essentially the same thing.
Okay.
It's just on a different scope. So if you look at it as, remember we said that the levels of business, which was employed, self-employed, that stuff.
Yeah.
There's branding in all of those things. The branding in terms of the employed section, if something goes wrong there, you go to HR.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's how it works. I don't actually know, but I think that's
how it works. Hopefully they do something about it.
You know what I'm saying? The self-employed,
Yeah.
something goes wrong with your branding and people don't like you for whatever reason, you just don't get money.
In the end, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then at the bigger corporation side of it, like, that's really hard to mess up their branding there because the large corporations, they actually have something called a brand identity document.
Yeah.
Which stipulates like every little detail of every little graphic needs to be the same. To the point where it's like colors printed on different types of materials need to be adjusted to get the same type of red that the company uses, because all of that stuff is so important. If you look at like just fake stuff, right, like counterfeit stuff, if you see something that's Nike and you see Nike but the tick is a bit squiggled, like that's the intentionality that these companies go to preserve their brand, because they know like if they release a product where the Nike tick is not completely straight,
no one's buying it,
because they're like, how? Well, where did you make this thing? unless it's part of the design, right? But the difference between personal brand and branding for businesses, it's the same thing though. It's just, how do you attract the people that you want to attract? And I think where personal brands go wrong sometimes is that we try to, I actually have something that I want to say just now, but we try to create what we like instead of creating what our customers like.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah, that was crazy. It's kind of like love languages.
If
you think about it. I just came from the premarital course this week.
Good stuff, right?
That was cool.
That was great.
I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I need the Ferrari.
You're not married. Your Ferrari is parked right there, guys. His Ferrari is parked out there. It's nice and black. A black Ferrari. His brand identity is, I don't want the Ferrari everyone else has. I want a black one.
A black Ferrari is cold.
Yeah. That's cold. That's cold.
It is cold. But it's like love language.
You're not married, right?
No, I'm not.
You don't have a girlfriend?
No.
Don't. Guys, he's single. Single.
Crazy.
Good man. But he's an entrepreneur. So ladies, if you decide to date him, just know you're a personal assistant. You are a personal assistant too. Yeah.
But man, so that's
so you were saying
love languages. It's like love languages.
Yeah.
You know, we try to, naturally, we want to love people the way we would like to be loved.
Yeah.
You know, and we want to give them something.
It doesn't work that way, yeah?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's like people receive differently. You know, and you need to learn what one person's love language is in order for them to
love you back.
Feel loved.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the exact same thing with branding.
Yeah.
We try to put out what we like.
Sure.
And what's attractive to us.
Yeah.
Whereas our clients don't find it attractive. Like I feel like I like my type of graphic design aesthetic, if you have to look at my Pinterest, is like, it's kind of grungy, but it's also like kind of, you know, like cool and just like cars and, you know, like really just cool shirts and everything like that. Like it's cool, right? But imagine if I style my entire personal brand around that, which my friends will think is incredible.
Yeah.
If I go to somebody, I'm like, oh, I can shoot your son's second birthday.
But
this is like, I show them the pictures and it's like, you know, all this crazy, like deep fashion stuff.
And then they're like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know.
My kid wants Batman or Spider-Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about this. But if you adjust your brand to a more family-centered thing, then you realize people are like, yo, this is actually really cool. I'd love to do this. But it just depends on your target market and who you're going for and making sure that person feels seen apart from you feeling seen. Yeah. If that makes sense. Like, sure. Entrepreneurship, bro, it'll show you who you are. It'll show you who you are and it'll tell you to change. That's exactly.
It'll show you who you are and tell you to change.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. And personal branding is the same thing. Like people brand based on what they like instead of seeing what the person would like to receive through that.
Yeah. So it's basically being, you're saying customer centric. What does my client like?
Yeah.
And branding accordingly.
Yeah. And that's not an easy question to answer. Because for a while, I just thought I was stupid because I didn't know how to answer that question. But it's actually a really difficult question to answer.
Why is it so difficult to answer?
Well, it's not difficult to answer. You just need to ask them. But that in and of itself is like, you need to have clients in order to figure out what your clients like and what they don't like.
Yeah.
And that journey is tricky. So it's one of those ones is like, don't think about it too much. And if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. But over time, you're just adding on to things. It's like James Clear mentions it in Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
1% improvements. That's literally it. It's like, and I get stuck, me personally, I get stuck on the big ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, why haven't we done this yet and this? And it's like, okay, I need to start with the small things. And work up to it. And it's like, okay, just make one small improvement every single day, 1% improvements every day, and you'll get there. Eventually, you have to get there. I saw a quote the other day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where this is going.
Dinner.
But I saw a quote actually at the entrance of my estate. They have like this board.
Yeah.
Where they like put up important dates and like stuff, like community meetings and all this stuff. But they had a success quote there. I think it was this morning or yesterday. But it said, the most sure way to succeed is to try again.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the most incredible thing ever.
That's actually quite powerful. Because
people
quit after the first try.
And if you quit, there's like 100% guaranteed you're not going to succeed.
100%. Yeah. So we always need to get up and try again.
You just need, like, getting up and trying again is the only thing that you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's.
So what was a big moment of failure for you and how you overcame it?
You
have some water, then tell us.
Yeah, no.
Tell us.
Big moments of failure.
Yeah.
What was a big failure? Well, I need you to clarify.
So, entrepreneurial failure. Okay. Because you've said that you get to a point, you're successful, that's fine. But then you said entrepreneurship is a journey that shows you who you are and tells you to change. And entrepreneurship is riddled with moments where you failed, where you say there's an expectation I want to hit and I don't hit it. What was that for you?
I think it's a difficult question to answer because I think I've kind of like conditioned myself to not register them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It happens very frequently.
Okay. Yeah.
But you push through it so much, like you realize that there's only ever two outcomes.
Sure.
Success or failure.
Yeah.
And if it takes a really long time to succeed, like what are you doing all this time?
Yeah.
You're constantly just getting it wrong. But it's not just the thing of like getting it wrong, it's getting it less wrong every time. I think of difficult times that I've been through. Where like it was just really difficult months when there was just like no business coming in,
like nothing was happening.
My car's, I don't know how my car is running because it's running on, that jar of oil that Elijah was. Yeah,
that Elijah was.
That was my petrol tank, bro. I kid you not. I don't know how like the light was flashing and it was just like, God, we're moving, and he was like, yeah, we're moving.
Yeah.
and it's moments like that where you like, okay, this person called me to come up to this gig tomorrow, but they haven't paid me the deposit.
So what must happen?
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, but I don't have petrol. But it's like, but I don't have petrol. So must I just take a chance and like,
yeah.
And that's really what it is. I think it's moments like that where there's just uncertainty.
Yeah.
But I think that's like the beauty in that is you really learn to trust God, and you learn to like building your faith is
You need to.
One of the most important.
If you guys want to get to know God quicker, become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, bro, literally, because it's like I don't know what I'm doing here. Nobody around me knows what I'm doing because I have a vision that they can't see. So they don't know what I'm doing. They can't help me. I don't know what I'm doing because I see it, but I don't know how to get there.
Yeah, this sounds like a roller coaster ride.
You know, it's like, but God, you know what I'm doing, and you know how I'm gonna get there, and all of this stuff. And it's like, okay, just
tell her what you must.
Tell her what you must. That in and of itself is the most challenging thing ever.
Yeah,
but I think once you get comfortable with that, and once you get comfortable with the uncertainty of it, and the uncertainty, like now, it's weird because it doesn't faze me if something like that happens.
Yeah,
like if business is slow, or if like months we don't make as much. Like if something like that happens, I don't even question
it doesn't register.
Yeah, like I feel the emotion of it, and I feel the fear of it. As I said, the fear doesn't go away. But you very quickly just like, okay, God, but your word says this, and I've seen you in the past do this.
Yeah.
And so I know you're gonna turn around. And 2 days later,
turns around.
And it's weird, like the emotions don't go away.
Yeah.
And the situation doesn't change, but you
know that God's gonna come through for you.
Yeah.
Well, not God's gonna come, he will come through as long as you also do your part, right?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So you're working towards it.
Yeah. Cool. So we're at the part of the podcast where I'm going to ask you where you see yourself going forward, and then also just tell us where people can connect with you.
Okay.
And then after that, you become the host and you can ask me 1 or 2 questions that you also want to know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? Interesting. I vote. Why are you smiling like that?
Welcome to the Samuel Liam podcast.
Yeah. So, what is in the future for Liam Neeson? No, I'm joking. I will find you, and I will kill you. Good luck. Ooh, annoying. What your future? What are you looking? When I say future, let's take it very, very short window, next 1 to 2 years. Because 5 years, like we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. Yeah,
new house.
Yeah, new house. 1 to 2 years. What do you see yourself?
1 to 2 years. There's a few exciting things coming up in the next 1 to 2 years that I don't really want to share too much about.
That's
but I think right now what I'm currently working towards is moving out of like the just get it done zone and getting into a space where it's like anointing. Say that. Where it's like there's 2 ways to do something. There's okay, this needs to be done, and let's just get it together quickly and slap together and do something. And then there's a way where you're very intentional. Yeah. And you're in your flow state and you're operating at the highest level and like stuff like that. Like in order to get there, for me, I feel at least I need to be a bit more disciplined. I need to have my routine a bit more in order to just get into that state where I can constantly just be flowing nicely. But I think that's where I see myself. Like if I can achieve that, I think I'll be happy, because it's this thing of then you're not just doing work.
Yeah.
You're like you're pushing the boundaries and you're doing the important work, and you're doing work that changes things, and it's the innovation, it's the stuff that you don't find online. That's kind of why I said about like don't listen to people online. It's like
people over here.
Like find something in the real world and then present it to people and like, yo, I figured this out, and they were like, how? And I was like, I didn't listen to you guys.
I don't know what your personal vendetta is.
I actually don't. I don't know where this came from. I'm not like this in real life, guys. It's not my real personality. But yeah, that's what it is. But it's like, getting to that point where like I can be intentional and really just push the creative boundaries on whatever I'm doing. Yeah, like less of just going through the motions and more intentionality.
Sure. All right.
I think.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then before we switch to you ask me questions, how integral has your faith in Jesus Christ been throughout this entire journey? Take some water as we talk about the living water.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I would be sitting behind a desk.
So all those people who are sitting behind the desk don't know. I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking. I'm joking. He did not say that. I'm just joking.
Disclaimer.
I'm just joking.
No,
yes,
but yeah, man, genuinely, I don't think I'd be anywhere close to where I am now.
Yeah.
Simply because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
And I probably would have just chosen a career, just like off something, and I would have ran with it, and I would have dedicated myself to it, and I would have been really great at it.
Yeah.
But I would never have enjoyed it.
It wouldn't be fulfilled.
I wouldn't be fulfilled.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think having faith in Jesus Christ, it gave me the courage to even just step out and do this. Like that's, as I said, it's a calling. You don't just get this.
You don't wake up and be like, yes.
You don't just wake up and be like obviously the nice parts of entrepreneurship can motivate you, but I've seen too many times where people have that motivation and then 2 weeks, you'll never hear about that business again.
2 weeks, go on.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Jeez, like that's a...
Because in 2 weeks, it gets hectic. And then you realize you're like, yo, this is actually a lot more work than I thought about.
Yeah.
And remember I said, it was like 10 years before anything substantial happens.
Yeah.
And it's only faith that can get you through that.
That's good.
But yeah.
All right, Brother Liam. You can... all my guests get this opportunity.
Really?
All of them.
I don't know what to ask.
Well, just
okay.
think about it and ask.
Here's a question. I'm gonna flip one of your questions.
Yeah.
Oh, do you like this?
It's good.
I
want one.
This is actually one of my clients' clothing brands.
Is it?
That I did work for.
Oh yeah.
It's cool. That's good.
Send me some details. I want
I'm
one.
gonna put you on.
Yeah, put me on.
He doesn't know that I'm wearing this.
He doesn't know now. He's gonna know very soon. Like
I don't even think he knows that I have this shirt.
You guys can sort that out. I don't know. I wasn't involved yet. Yes,
yeah, it was like a sample, but anyway.
Okay.
Let me stop incriminating.
Yeah.
Question.
Yep.
1 to 2 years, where do you see yourself?
Where do I see myself? Wow. It's for me, I think it's I think more because I've been on my own journey from like a public speaking perspective since I was like 15. That's a very long time. It's like 17 years.
That's crazy.
And I've been doing project management for 12. I've been an author for 7. I've been married for 3. So and I've been doing podcasting for 4 years. So I think it's looking at the next level because my father, who passed away 4 years ago, he always put the belief in us that we must always reach for the absolute highest that we can. That we can. Not everybody else can, the absolute highest that you can. So if you've got the ability to get, for example, if you're in a job and the maximum that they can pay, realistically speaking, is, for argument's sake, R1 million a month, then you must be aiming to get that 1 million rand a month. So for me, it's just pushing that boundary because I've been tied up in overcoming that mindset of like, hey, maybe I don't deserve this. Maybe it's a bit hard. I've had successes, but I was slightly under pressure. But I think over the past couple of years, I've actually realized that, you know what, getting to a certain level is actually possible. It's actually possible. So it's just me flipping that mindset and just pushing to ask myself the question, how much can I achieve? That's literally the question. So I don't have a number. I don't have an achievement. I don't have a milestone. I just want to say, it also goes back to the daily disciplines, that if I discipline myself to doing certain things every single day, in the next 2 years, what is it that can I achieve so that I don't feel like I failed? Because if I say I want to live in New York in 2 years and I don't do it, have I failed? But then the question is, like, have I pushed myself to the absolute ultimate that I can? So, and then, but one thing that I do know is my 3rd book is nearing the later stages. So I definitely get that one out
Yeah.
because I've got some debts to pay. I need to cancel all of that. Hey, 2020 was rough, man. Leave us
Yeah,
alone.
no.
2020 took a lot of people out.
Yeah,
It took
2020 was crazy.
it was a dumpster
I
fire.
did my first year in varsity in 2020.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Terrible.
you see, it was bad. Now they're saying that they want to do lockdown again
Oh,
with
wow.
Mpox. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing I'm not doing that again. But we'll
Could
see.
be fun though. We could make some money.
From what?
Like looking at it from a different perspective now.
Yeah.
Because so many people made so much money.
Oh, they definitely did.
Like if it had to happen again, I think.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good angle. I'm gonna think about it. Like, what could I do?
Yeah, like just be prepared. It's like having an apocalyptic bunker just of like entrepreneurship ideas.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. So, yeah, that's and then also from a business perspective, when I say we, a team of people, we, instead of just publishing myself, we're looking to publish other people in terms of their books and as well as their podcasts.
I've always wanted to write a book.
Well, yeah, we were just figuring out a few things. We'll make sure that we'll figure.
Let me know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
If you need a test dummy.
Quite a number of people. So I think that's what, in essence, what I'm aiming for. Jim Rohn, I read because a decade ago I was really into Jim Rohn. Still am. He said, ask yourself the question when some people ask you, like Liam.
Sam was, yeah, that's the one.
Liam, why would you do all these things? Why would you be an entrepreneur? Why would you work so hard? Why would you put in the hours and the days and all that? And like, why would you push yourself so hard? Then Jim asked the question. No, he said, ask them why not. Why can I not see how far I can go, how much I can do, what I can become? Why not? Like actually, why not?
Yeah.
And then also from human beings, we're the only people who don't maximize our capabilities, who don't maximize our potential. Like a dog. How about a dog? He's not going to grow any more than he has.
Yeah.
A cat doesn't grow. It will grow until they can't grow anymore. A tree will grow until they can't grow anymore. That's nature. Even us physically, we grow until we can't physically grow anymore. But in terms of our minds, our ambitions, our spirit, our knowledge, our education, we stop at a certain point, and we don't see exactly how far we can actually push ourselves.
Yeah.
So exactly how far can you grow? How much can you do? So that's literally the focus for the next 1 to 2 years. Like, exactly how much can I do? That's why people sometimes think that I'm crazy. I'm like, you're doing all these things. And again, I'm like, guys, I'm not doing all these things. I'm not a Formula One driver. I'm not Lewis Hamilton, okay? I have zero interest.
Sometimes.
I'm not talking about driving when it's amber up going to red. We all do it. I know you do it.
You're only saying going to red because he's switching to Ferrari.
So that's and also I'm not interested in things that I'm not interested in. I don't want things that I don't want, if that makes any sense. Because a lot of people, when you are in a space for a long time, people, they'll see the work that you do. And then they'll approach you with certain opportunities. And,
that's very important.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know who they are. And they will take any opportunity. They'll take
money is money.
Hey, money is money. Or opportunity is opportunity. They'll take any opportunity. They'll take any interview. They'll date anyone. like literally anyone. I don't want what I don't want because I have a strong sense of what it is that I do want.
Yeah.
For example, I don't want to be a politician. Zero interest in being it. I don't.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, tell her what you must.
I think I'm okay.
Okay. We can open up our own party, no? I have zero interest in being a movie director. Zero interest in.
I would want to be a movie director.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It would make sense in my.
In your alley. For me, it would make sense if I was to write because I'm a writer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this like I know what I don't want, and for example, there've been jobs that I've been offered, and they say we'll pay X amount. I was like, sorry, I don't charge that much. Find someone else. It's like, hey, but you can get this opportunity, this work from. I'm like, no, that's not me. Like, bye. Like, you left money on the table. I'm like, yes, yes, because a friend of mine that I had on the podcast 4 years ago. This guy was very interesting. I need to bring him back on. KG Klobatla. He runs SV Capital. They're an investment firm.
Okay.
So what interested me about this character is that in his business, he was offered 80 million as an investment. I'm like, you turned down 80 million. Mate, give me 80 million now. I'm sharp.
Yeah,
then he
that's
said,
crazy.
and then I think recently he turned out another 300.
Yeah.
So I'm like, these are cell phone numbers.
That sounds like something I would do. Though.
Yeah,
My business partner asked me that question.
Yeah, you would. You turn it down. Yeah.
He's like, would you turn down all this money? I'm like,
yeah.
okay, but let's think about it.
let's break this down.
about it.
So I'm like, because
Like,
me,
what are they buying with that 30 million?
I
That's what I'm saying. Like,
exactly. So I was actually offered money for the podcast. I don't think I tell people this story. Like they offered me 100,000 rand.
that's insane.
I was like,
To start a podcast?
no, to have the rights.
What do you mean?
So when people buy podcasts, right?
Oh, they want to buy the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought like this was startup capital.
No.
like, bro,
But they're buying. Not
That's actually not that much. But
no, it's not a lot of money. So I'm like, okay, so what must happen with this 100,000 rand?
yeah.
And then they said, we just want to control the content. Da. I was like,
But you still the person.
So basically, I have a job now.
Yeah.
300,000. No, sugar. Because I mean, because one of the things that pushed me to start, because I've wanted to start for over 5 years, is that when Joe Rogan signed that distribution deal for $100 million, it makes sense because it's a distribution deal. They don't own the content. So stuff like that. But 100,000 rand, it's not that lot of money. So in the grand scheme. So this guy turned down another 300M. So I'm like, when he was on the show, I asked him, so why did you say no?
Yeah.
Like, I'm genuinely interested. Why did you say no? And KG said something very simple. He said, if it doesn't align to what I believe and what I'm doing, in addition to money comes with energy. And the energy that they were coming with, I didn't align to. So I said no.
Yeah.
I was like, what did your wife say about
That's crazy.
And the wife said, why the wife agreed. So that's the thing. So
That's interesting.
yeah, so a lot of people will take any opportunity because they don't know what they want.
I have another one for you.
Yeah.
On that point.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't had the opportunity to turn down 300 raw thoughts, but
300 million. 300 million.
but
yeah.
something that I've learned, which is along the lines of what you're talking about, is that everything costs something, even if it's not monetary. It costs you something.
Yeah, there's a cost.
Everything that you do, there's a cost associated with it. You realize this especially when like you're starting out in freelancing and you're offering people stuff for free and they still say no. It's like, okay, there's another cost inside there that has nothing to do with money.
It's
that
pride.
You know what I'm saying? That's holding them back from working with you. Like it's maybe their time with the investment.
Yeah.
Everything costs money, and sometimes it's even just the opportunity cost of, taking one thing and then not being able to do something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. So what was the question?
1 to 2 years for you.
No.
Oh, do I have another question?
No, I'll say if you have another question.
Oh, I do have another question.
Yeah.
I had another question. This conversation kind of lasted on me. But yeah, I don't have another question.
You don't have another question?
I don't think I'd be a very good host.
No. Okay. All right. Cool. So where can people find you? On the gram? I know you got TikTok. I know you're on there.
I actually don't have
You don't have TikTok, guys.
I know.
He doesn't have TikTok. How dare cancel him now? Cancel him now.
I have TikTok, but
Not from a business
one
perspective.
of my clients was logged in. My personal account is not logged in on my TikTok.
No, I'm talking about from a business perspective. Like,
For myself.
yeah.
No, I have a personal account. But that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So just give them your personal TikTok. Yeah.
don't follow me on TikTok.
Okay, don't follow him on TikTok
Don't
because
do that. Because TikTok is a terrible app.
oh boy.
I'm saying this like anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram at samuelliam.sa.
Yeah.
Samuel Liam is one word.
Yeah.
And then .sa.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Instagram and YouTube. You can follow me on YouTube as well.
All right. Good.
I have one video up.
One video.
I'm
Okay.
supposed to be uploading daily.
Yeah.
And I uploaded the first video 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that is the only video.
Yeah.
So I don't know how far the daily thing is going, but
It's not.
it's not. It's a pretty cool video.
Yeah. Okay, no, we'll check it out. Check it out.
But yeah, samuelliam.sa. That's the vibes.
All right.
Instagram is where I'm most active though.
Okay. So we'll find you on Instagram.
Yes,
because
sir.
it's a beautiful app. It's aesthetically pleasing.
It is.
It's functional. It makes
Quality
sense.
is high content.
It's high content.
High quality. Oh, what am I saying?
High quality content.
Yeah.
It's all those.
High quality
It's all those
content.
chicken. It's all those chicken burgers you used to eat.
What does that have to do with anything? I was
Nothing.
up, bro.
It's nothing. It's nothing. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you very much for taking the time to tune in. This is Samuel Liam Chetty. He's an entrepreneur, and you will find him on the socials. He's dropped a lot of gems. Thank you very much for your time. And remember, I'm NJ, and this is the NJ Podcast. Remember that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means that you're doing what you've always wanted to do because it's aligned with your highest values, and that is the only way for you to live a truly fulfilled and inspired life. Thank you very much, everybody.